What's up, HyperFast Nation? On this episode of the podcast, I sat down with an amazing lady doing so many different things in real estate. She's an owner of a REMAX franchise. She works with a ton of investors. She is starting a mortgage company. She's got a scholarship program that we talked about for new real estate agents and a really exciting book project coming out. Welcome to the show, Maria Quattrone. Welcome to the show today, Maria. How are you doing?
I am fantastic, Dan. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm super excited to talk with you.
Thank you. And you're joining us from Philadelphia, correct?
Good old Philadelphia.
All right. Well, tell all of our listeners and viewers out there a little bit about yourself and background and how you got into real estate and how you got up to this moment in your life.
Oh boy, that's a long story, but I'll try to make it super quick. My name is Maria Quattrone. I'm born and raised Philadelphian. I've been in real estate for 18 years. I own a REMAX franchise, REMAX at Home, also Motto Mortgage Expert Solutions, which we just launched this year. And I am in the process of doing a book collaboration called Fearless Female Leaders, Their Untold Story Revealed. So I ended up in real estate out of working at radio stations for 11 years. I was an account manager, and I did that, and I was kind of like bored a little bit, and I wanted an opportunity to control my financial destiny. And a good friend told me all about real estate. So I said, let me investigate this. So I investigated it, and I started in it was early winter 2004. And yeah, I mean, I pretty much hit the ground running in the business because my background was in advertising sales. I sold radio time. So that's like, you're selling air. It's not like selling a house or selling air. Not very many people can buy it. So selling a home, a lot simpler, not to say simpler, but definitely not simpler, but easier to find clients.
Right. Well, and you can get a loan for it too.
That's right. You can get a loan for it. The radio, you got to pay cash.
Yeah. So that's an interesting background, and you came in at an interesting time when it was a super busy time in the market for people that may not remember or be old enough to know what was going on at the time. But 2004 was like, kind of the early stages of when the market got super hot, correct?
Yeah, it was actually started in around 2001 or so.
Yeah.
And then it pretty much ended, I would say, by June of 2005. Although nobody accepted it until Lehman Brothers crashed in September of 2000. What was it? 8, 7, 8. Well, one of those years. I forget. They all blend together. So it was kind of tough.
And then I think it was like a full another year before the rest of Wall Street kind of went down, right? It took a long time, the whole thing.
It took a long time, and it had been building up already for 18 months prior to that. So it's like the way that consumers absorb information. Just like right now, interest rates in December were 3%, and now they're in the 6s, heading to like 7. And consumers are used to hearing 3% interest rates. So that's going to cause a shift in the market, and people may be taking right now a little bit of a pause to figure out, okay, well, I can't afford that house now at $1 million. That's at 6.5% that I can afford at 3%.
Yeah, well, it's great to have a veteran on who's been through multiple cycles. A lot of real estate agents or investors, all they know is the market that we've had the last 10 years, which has been up, low inventory, all of that kind of stuff. So it would be interesting to get more of your perspective on what's happening now that maybe is similar to back then, maybe or what's different. I think an interesting take that I've been discussing with real estate agents lately on the interest rates is, I believe you can't just look at the interest rates alone. You have to look at inflation and where is the interest rate relative to inflation. And, when those 3% rates were around, we didn't have 8% inflation. So it's now we're at 8.6. So I think that's, an interesting perspective as well.
Sure. And there's a war going on, and there's a lot of stuff. There is a lot of stuff. And then if you're in a city, you live in a major city like Philadelphia, there's even more stuff that is going on.
What do you think is similar between now and 05 to 07, and what's maybe different?
Well, okay, there's a couple things. One being that millennials are the largest generation yet. And they're at the average age of 33 right now. So we don't have enough inventory over the next several years to absorb the new household formations that are coming from millennials who live with their friend or mom or an apartment. So there's that. And then there's, okay, well, if you are a renter and you don't own a home, you're paying 100% interest. So it doesn't matter really what the interest rates are as long as you can figure out what the payment is and you can afford the payment. Because we say marry the house and rent the rate. Or rent the rate. Date the rate. Date the rate. So marry the house and date the rate. So get the house, and then when rates do adjust downward, refi. So, because we do know that the pricing will increase, even if it's like 3 to 4%, 5% a year over the next 5 years based on current levels of inventory, unless something dramatic happens, we still don't have enough first-time homebuyer product, period. So it's a very interesting time. I think that there will be buyers that will leave the market. They just won't be able to afford a home, which is very sad because that's something that we stress home ownership, because without home ownership, it's very difficult to build wealth. Most people's wealth is in their home. And if they didn't have a home and they had a rent, they would have their salary.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the chart yet, but that real estate group, Keeping Current Matters, they put out.
Yep.
They put out, I think, every year, like net worth of homeowners versus net worth of renters. And the differences in that it's astounding. I mean, it's like 25x or something, I think.
Absolutely. So we say, look, just pick a house that will work for you. Usually it would be like, let's see if we can get 80% of what you want. Now it's like, let's get some percent. You're not getting 80%. So maybe you get 50%. But you own a home, you can afford, you can grow your net worth through home ownership. And when the rates change, you can refi that. So, you have to look at everything, the bigger picture. And real estate is also hyper local, right? So, and it's also driven by the price points. So whether it's a first-time buyer or it's a, over $1 million buyer, they're different markets, even in the same neighborhood.
How many agents do you have at the REMAX?
We have, let's see. That's always a tricky question for me. Around 20-something.
Okay.
Well, because people come, and we have new agents, right? So they may not make it in the first 90 days. So we're like onboarding, offboarding, whatever. But we started a scholarship program this past year. And so the program is, we bring them through the real estate school and we mentor them during this time. We help to get them prepared for the real estate exam. Once they pass the exam, then they come into our 2-week Rise in Real Estate Academy at our office. And after that, they will know how to schedule an appointment, meet with a client, do a buyer strategy session, write an offer, show homes, and work within our CRM, work within our processes. So it's the basics. It's enough to get somebody doing the work, right? Because you have to take the action. And most people that complete it have been successful.
Hey, hold that thought. Do you want to get 100 tips for free from my best-selling real estate book, The Hyperlocal HyperFast Real Estate Agent. If you do, go to hyperfasttips.com and you can download 100 of my best tips today. Again, that's hyperfasttips.com. You can download 100 tips on how to grow your business, get more clients, deliver more value to more people. Go to hyperfasttips.com.
How have you, kind of dealt with the challenges and that the market has presented the last couple of years? First with the low inventory during the pandemic, and then now with interest rates rising. How are you coaching your agents to kind of keep their heads on straight? It's a lot to deal with.
Well, we're in Philadelphia, and we're in downtown. We don't sell a lot of single-family houses out in the suburbs, so we didn't have to really deal with a lot of multiple offers. Yet we did have them, but not as much as in some areas. One thing for our company, we do a lot of listings, so we have a lot of inventory because we're like a listing machine. We also do commercial real estate, and we do vacant land. So whenever one thing is difficult, something else is over there. So you always have to find the silver lining in any market. I think the market changing is a good thing for the industry. We can't just keep going up in pricing. It will allow some buyers to be able to buy houses that have been looking to buy homes. And in addition to that, a lot of agents in the marketplace, people need to learn this business. It's not just going up, and anything just sells. If I see one more post how you sold something in 24 hours with 10 offers, I am going to puke. No, kidding, but not kidding. I don't think that's I hardly ever post about that stuff at all. I mean, if we do, it's a story about a family or something. I don't believe that that's real estate marketing. A lot of people do. I'm not of a mindset of that. To me, it's a humble brag, like time and time again.
Well, and selling a home quickly in the last year, for the most part, you priced it right. It's not too much to brag about. I think if you were gonna try and show value created to clients, it would be like, hey, these people, had this budget, this desire, and I was able to do this to find them an off-market deal or craft their offer so that they were able to
correct
beat out other people. Like that's for the better part of the last couple of years, that's been where I think the skill has come in, I guess, so to say.
100%. We've been doing off-market transactions since, I want to say, I got into the business. And then we've worked with a lot of investors, so we find opportunities from sellers and we sell them to a client, another one of our clients. We do our best to market I don't care who sells the listing, to be clear.
Right.
Okay? It just needs to be sold. But because we do a lot of marketing too, we have about 2,000 people on our investor list that are active buyers in the market. So we market to them, so we can sell a lot of inventory that way as well, just direct. All different little things that we do that are, to make sure that we're staying in front of the clients all the time. And even if we did send it out or you did post it, that doesn't mean that actually somebody saw it, because you could put something in your feed and only 2% of people could see it, maybe not even. So you constantly have to be out there, and whether it's, you're listing something or you have a buyer who's looking for something, you can find off market. It's not impossible. You just have to do the work. And a lot of people, I don't think, are used to doing that.
Yeah, I think, that's a great comment about how only 2% of the feed typically will see it. You really do have to work. You can't overpost when you're trying to promote a house or a service that you offer. You got to go into multiple channels. The email list, I think, are really the best way now. I know some people think email's old school.
I love email.
Right?
MailChimp.
TikTok, but yeah, you gotta convert as many of those social media followers into your email list, because that's how you're going to get properties sold or, find deals for investors, I believe.
Yeah, we use our email list a lot. We just sent one out of 3. We schedule them in advance, so we know what's going out what day. We try to do them a week out, but if we get a listing today, we'll put it on the board to go out for next week. So, it's constantly, we don't live in a vacuum, so it's a breathing machine, living, breathing machine, that, I like to call it anyway. But MailChimp it's been fantastic because you can send video that way as well, and we could talk to not just the consumers in the marketplace, but for agent recruiting, and we send emails that are just text as well as videos from me to the local real estate community.
Tell me a little bit about the investor side of the business and what you're doing there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we work with investors, whether they are buying a piece of vacant land to build one new construction home or 23 new construction homes. So we'll sell residential vacant land, commercial. We have commercial warehouses right now for sale, 13,000, 50,000. We have 30,000 in vacant land. Another one that's like a 70,000 acre, 70,000 square feet, which in Philadelphia is pretty big. They'll go to large investor developers, or we might just have a little rehab that's 150 grand that you can flip, and we could sell for 400 or 425. We do that as well, and it's something that I started to do back in 2007 or 8. Around there. So I would call expired listings all the time. And because I wanted the listing, I just had to get the listing. So I call expires. I learned how to do that. I used to coach back in the day, Mike Farry, all about scripts, all about dialogues, hardcore, get up, get in the office 7:30 on the phone right away, making 50 to 100 contacts a day, depending on the day and the appointment scheduled. And I would have listings all over, and a lot of them were in emerging neighborhoods, and investors wanted them. So I would sell them to the investor, they'd rehab them, and I get the listing back. So we still do that to this day. It is a big part of our business and a fun part of our business for sure, because we have clients I've been working with for 15 years.
Hey, hold that thought for a minute. Do you want to take your real estate business to the next level? If you do, there's no reason to go it alone. Learn from people who've been where you want to go. Carrie and I have sold billions of dollars in real estate. We've netted over 7 figures for 7 years in a row now, and we want to see if you would be a good fit to work for us. We don't work with a lot of people, but we want to give you a chance to get on a free strategy call to see if we can help you get your business to the next level. Go to hyperfastcoach.com and apply for your discovery session today. Again, that's hyperfastcoach.com.
Well, that was a great time to get into working with investors. I think a lot of real estate agents don't embrace investors as much as they should, which is a little perplexing because it's a repeat client, right? People that are going to potentially buy every year or more frequently even. Why do you think some agents are maybe a little scared to work with investors or don't like it?
I think they don't understand the numbers. They don't understand that part of the industry. It is a different thing. It's like, why wouldn't somebody do commercial real estate where they're doing office leasing? I could do it. I have no desire to do that. I don't want to be in the tenant rep business. I don't want to be dealing with, all the things that come and play with that. Most, though, agents in North America are buyer's agents, and they work with regular home buyers. They take them around, they show them homes, and they pick one to buy. There's not, it's a lot easier than working with an investor because you really need to understand the market, be a market expert, understand absorption rates, understand what needs to be built in a neighborhood, what you shouldn't build in a neighborhood, understand what the consumer wants. It's more time consuming in the long run because there's effort and skill involved in it, and it's constantly changing, so you need to stay up on that, and you need to be aware of when something is shifting or moving, and you got to be in front of it.
Yeah, I think more agents should, take the time, learn the numbers, and add that to the buckets that you have. We like to, on our real estate team, we like to talk about, different pillars of success, right? Like maybe you're good at open houses, maybe you're good at calling expired, but the more of these different areas you can add, the more diversity you're going to have in the source of your income. And when the market shifts or ebbs and flows, you're gonna have more things to lean on. Like I don't think investors are gonna go away if the market comes down. Their deal bucket, their deal criteria is gonna change.
No, they're waiting for it to change. I mean, there's so much money in my database. It's insane. I said, I think there's $1 billion. And then I remembered one of my clients owned about $200 million of real estate. So I'm like, nah, there's more than $1 billion. There's probably a couple $1 billion of business in my database. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I bet most people have hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions, just sitting in their database that they're not capitalizing on. Let's talk about the book for a moment or two. You said you're working on a collaboration project book for female leaders. Can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for asking. It's called Fearless Female Leaders or Untold Stories Revealed. And the book is about women who are fearless. And they say, well, what does that mean? You would think, oh, fearless, like they're fearless. No, we have fear, but we do it anyway. So that's where the fearless comes in, because we all are afraid, but we take the action and we put ourselves out there. And then there's a story behind each of those that they haven't revealed. There's a story that needs to be told, and that will help somebody else that's sitting there saying, can I do it? Is this possible for me? And it's, it's through triumph and through just grit, determination, never giving up, and knowing that, at the end of the day, it's all going to be okay. But a lot of people don't see that. It's easier said than done. So we want to give other humans, women, an opportunity to read stories of about 30 women or so, and be an influence to them, be an inspiration to them, and let the women speak and their voices be heard. Because through your speaking, whether it's written or vocal, it's very freeing. So
is the book?
I'm excited.
Are you still working on it, or is it out?
I just launched the collaboration.
Okay.
So we're enrolling people now, and we'll be enrolling for the next 30 days or so. And once it sells out, it sells out. And the book will be launched in October of this year.
Okay. So we'll look forward to that. I always like to end with a HyperFast round if you're ready for some rapid fire Q&A.
Let's do it.
All right. What's your biggest piece of advice to a new real estate agent?
Join a team.
I like that one. What's the biggest mistake you see successful real estate agents making?
Not thinking about the long-term, short-term gain.
All right. If you had to start all over and you couldn't take your money, your reputation, or your contacts, your database with you, and all you could take was the knowledge you've gained from over a decade of being in the business, what's the first thing you'd go out and do?
I would, if I had no business and I was going into a new market or something, I would go after expires and build your business immediately.
All right. What would we most likely find you doing when you're not working on your business?
Working on some other business. Real estate, mortgage, books now. I'm opening an insurance. We're doing a JV with a title company. I love business. I love helping people. I love watching people grow. I love inspiring, speaking. But for fun, I'd say I love to ride my bike, as corny as that sounds, but I love the bike and reading books. The beach in the summer, drinking wine, like really good wine. We're going to France in September to drink really good wine. So there's those types of things. And good food, organic good food.
All right, last one. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
I see myself as an owner, but no longer an operator.
All right, well, that is a great goal to have, and I wish you luck in getting there. Be sure and look for the book, October, everyone who's listening.
October.
And
yes, and if anybody hears this and they want to join the book, they can contact me through my website, MQ Real Estate, or I'm on social, Facebook, or direct message me, or Instagram. I'm sold by MQ there.
All right. I was going to also ask if people want to learn about the scholarship that you offer for new, I assume,
awesome.
New real estate agents. How should they do that?
Yep, they could do that by going to parealestatescholarship.com, and they can apply there. Everything's there for the application.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. To all of our listeners and viewers, thank you for tuning in. Please share this episode with other people that you think would benefit from listening or watching, and we'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure and go to hyperfastagent.com to learn about upcoming in-person and online events. And don't forget to share this show with someone that you think could benefit from hearing it, and make sure you subscribe on YouTube or anywhere that you can find podcasts.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the HyperFast Show. Subscribe to us if you want to make sure you get the latest and greatest HyperFast shows. And remember, we love reviews. Reviews help us bring better and better guests and improve our shows. So give us the good, the bad, and the ugly. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you want to see more, click right here. And if you want 100 real estate tips from my best-selling book, click right here to download them instantly. And if you're new to this channel, click below to subscribe.